What's going on, YouTubers, gamers and fellow hobbyists? Welcome to P&Q, the question and answer series where you get to ask me questions or put comments to me and then I respond the following week. You can do this one of four ways. Put your comment or question down below in the comments section. That's the most common way. Or you can email me at miniwarzone@gmail.com. This will give you an anonymous response, so I won't reveal who you are for whatever reason, but that is another way of doing it. Free, you can make a video yourself, which used to be commonplace. It's not so common these days. People aren't doing it so much. I may bring it back again at some point. Or if we meet in person, you can ask me there and then, and we can talk, and all is good. Anyway, I got a lovely lot of questions this time, and an email. Yay! I don't get many emails these days, but not that isn't junk anyway. So I've got 5 pages of questions here. So let's get on with it. I'm going to go straight to the email first. It says, it's a really nice email. It says, "Hi Pete, I just wanted to let you know that I love your On the Bench series. I must admit, when I first read it, I thought it read on the beach, lol. Hey, on the beach with Pete, yeah. Whilst you can watch the waves come in as I'm painting my models. That would be super cool. Yeah, I can do that. A series by the beach, on a bench, seaside bench. On the bench, on the beach, with Pete. There. Anyway, love the series though. I have decided to go right back and watch them from the first episode. Wow. I find that they really do help me when I'm painting, and as I have a lot of stuff to do coming up, it is ideal. Question: what inspired you to do this series? You said you loved making these videos. Why is that? Anyway, keep them coming, and please don't stop. Great question. Thank you very much. I got inspired by Ash Barker from Gorilla Miniature Gaming. When he used to work at Mini War Gaming, he did a series called, I'm trying to think of the name of it. Was it called The Workshop? The Workshop. It was a series where he would, he'd basically show what miniatures he's been working on in the week, what he's working on at the moment, and talk about a load of stuff, maybe bases, for instance, or other stuff about the gaming world, and it was great. And I wanted to do something similar, but then I started watching Mini Wargamer Jay's Painting with Jay series. If you don't know it, check him out. He used to work for Mini War Gaming as well many years ago, and he does a series on his own channel now called Painting with Jay, where you paint along with him, and those are the videos I like to watch when I'm painting myself. So I wanted to do a series of videos like that. To start with, I found it quite hard, and sometimes it can be difficult, painting and talking at the same time, particularly if you're doing tricky areas, which we all get that. But that's what inspired me to do it. So, and don't worry, they won't be stopping. Great question. Thank you for your email. Thanks so much. Okay, moving on to Big Mac Danskal, who asked me, this is a question from another video that he put on there. He says, "Nice collection there, Pete. Here's a question for your P&Q. Do you have a favourite robot from fiction? If so, who? Which is it?" Yes. The robot is called Daniel Oliver. He's from a series of books written by Isaac Asimov called the Elijah Bailey novels. And there's 4 main ones that you'll come across on them. But get the first one. It's called The Caves of Steel. The second one is The Naked Sun. The third one is The Robots of Dawn. And the fourth one is Robots and Empire. Those are the main ones. And he's a humaniform robot. He was technically he was the second humaniform robot ever built, and his creator made him in his own image, and he fools humans. He's that convincing, and all he wants to do, he gets assigned to work with an Earth detective basically called Elijah Bailey, and he's like typical, wants to become more human, but he likes the way Elijah Bailey thinks, and they form a really close bond. Now bear in mind, if you know anything about Isaac Asimov, the 3 laws of robotics, so he's bound by them all the way through it, but he is constantly trying to think like Elijah Bailey, and it's absolutely brilliant. There was another robot in it called Giska. He's not in the first book, but he's in the third one, I think, third and fourth books. But Daniel Oliver is my favourite robot from fiction. Check out Elijah Bailey and the Caves of Steel. Okay, Idic Beer 40k is next. It says, great to see so many questions, and do you enjoy P&Q so much again? Yay! Which one would you put into room 101? Traffic wardens, slow drivers, or fuzzy eaters? Easy. Traffic wardens. Easily for me. They are very annoying, particularly in a busy city. And I've been caught more than once by a traffic warden, parking somewhere or whatever. Even when I was a delivery driver and I was parking outside, places to deliver, and they're like, you can't park there, and I'm delivering, it's my job. And traffic wardens. Funny you mentioned Room 101 though. That's a series I would have. A couple of years ago, I thought about doing a series along the lines of Room 101, where I would rant about stuff from the hobby and put it in Room 101. That's how it would go. Maybe I would do that sometime. I don't know, but I felt it might be too negative, but fun to do though. But I did have an idea of doing that. But yeah, traffic wardens for sure. Thank you for your question. Frost and Fists is next. It says, amazing episode as always, my brother. I'm glad to see P&Q thriving again. I can't remember if I've used this question or not yet. I've been travelling a lot, so I apologise if this is a repeat. Don't ever apologise for repeat questions. Anybody, you can ask me questions that have been asked before, that's fine. Because people gravitate, towards the series, and they move on, and new viewers come in and they watch it, and it'll be new for them anyway. So it's a constant recycling of information, I guess. But there's still a lot more to find out. So it says for next time, what was an awesome gaming moment for you? Have you ever had a moment so epic both you and your opponent got excited? Much love as always, brother. Wolf Brother Mythos. That's not one I've had before, I don't think. Epic moment in gaming. Not wargaming. I mean, I've had moments where I'm like, but most recent one would be a Zombicide game, I suppose, where we all killed the abominations and Molotov cocktails, and that we're all going, yes, But the most epic gaming moment for me comes some 30 plus years ago when I was playing Dungeons and Dragons with my school friends, and we were playing a campaign that went on for a few years, the same campaign, same characters, and we built our characters up, we got heavily invested in them, and we built a strong bond. But my friend, who was playing a magic user, he got tempted by the dark side and evil stuff, so I think he started the campaign as neutral good, and over a period of time, as he got seduced to the evil side, his robes became darker and darker and darker. And then, a couple of years later, he goes off, I can't remember, it's a long time ago, it's 30 plus years ago, gets separated from the party, and he's playing a couple sessions with DM on his own, or at least I think he was on his own. But then we come back again, a few sessions later, and we meet him for the first time wearing all black, and he's like, like Darth Vader or something, and we're meeting on this rope bridge, this hanging rope bridge, and he's there saying, darkness is the way, evil is the way, I'm going to smite you down now, and he's ready to do his magic, and we're like, shit, let's cut this bridge down, we're sacrificing our own lives, and the two have to go, and we're making our saving throws to try and scramble up the sides, and he died and we lived, and we were like, yes, and he was like, I'm gonna get you, but we were talking for at least 2 hours after that, same night. We were just talking and talking and talking, because this was the culmination of like a 3-year campaign. Sadly, my friend lost his character, which is, I think he knew it was coming though, because when you go down that path, it's going to happen, isn't it? One of you can't be evil and the other's like neutral or good or whatever. I think I stayed neutral good throughout. I was playing a ranger. My other friend was like a thief. Was he a thief acrobat? I can't remember now. Remember the days of thief acrobats? He loved them. Anyway, yeah, that was my epic gaming moment. And, I'm still talking about it 30 plus years later. So, yeah, an epic moment. Thank you for your question, Mefoss. Great question. Right, Paint with Penny. Hey there, says, always love your discussion videos. They make terrific background while I'm working. But you did jog an old memory of mine. I used to be really good at an arcade game called Double Dragon. Remember it well. It cost 10p a game, and I was able to complete it without losing a life, and took about 30 minutes to complete. Great value and happy days. Weren't those the good old days? Double Dragon. Yeah, I wasn't any good at that particular game myself. I had played it though, and I do remember it. I even had it on my Commodore Amiga. Back in the Amiga days. But yeah, what a great game! So many games. I mean, games. I was better at the kind of shooty games. I was good at Gorf and Phoenix and Galaxians, but I wasn't very good at the original Space Invaders game for whatever reason. I just never quite got it. Or Defender. Do you remember that? It was like when I first saw that. The first arcade cabinet with Defender I saw, it didn't have joysticks, it was all buttons. I was like, oh my god, there's so many buttons, there's like more than 2 buttons. And there was a guy playing it, and he was like, obviously been playing it for a while, and he was like, yeah, I can do this. And it was like going and I thought the graphics and sound were amazing, like the side scrolling stuff, and I was like, yeah, so, but I wasn't any good at that one. But yeah, Double Dragon though, yeah, I do remember that. I wasn't as very good at the beat 'em up games for some reason. I wanted to be, like Kung Fu Master and Yaya Kung Fu and International Karate Champion, Way of the Exploding Fist, all those. God, great days. Thank you, Paint with Penny. Great question. Well, comment. See, this is where a comment piques a moment of interest for me, and I can talk about it. Fantastic, because that's a memory I have, which no one can take away. Brilliant. Right, next we have Battles in a Blue Shirt. Says, great answer, thanks. Question, what's your opinion on 8th edition 40k and how GW are updating the rules with constant FAQs? Love 8th edition 40k, and I love the way they're updating with the FAQs. Obviously, it's better for the match play people, the tournament scene. It doesn't matter to me so much. Because the next question says, do you prefer match play or narrative style or narrative play in 40k? I prefer narrative play each and every time. Always narrative for me, because that's where the fun is for me. But I do totally appreciate how competitive tournament games are fun for a specific area of people in the game. I totally get that. This is not for me. I play narrative because I get more invested into it and so on. Right, Capitan Morgan's War Games. His next says, good set of questions and answers. Number 1, who or what do you think the biggest driver of the meta is? I think it's us, the people, and the platform of YouTube now. I can't speak for years, gone by before the days of YouTube, but at its present time, I'd say YouTube is the big creator of the meta and the people, obviously, and the tournament scene in particular. 2, now I've played Napoleonic games where all is equal except player skill. Do you think tactics like refuse flank or tactics from other games could work in the 40k universe? Possibly could. I think the more generalistic tactics work, such as doing the unexpected, like, I don't know, I can't think of something off the top of my head, but I think distraction works well in 40k, depending on your armies. I think a bit of a poker game where you're bluffing with certain things. Depends on the what game you're playing. You know, really, but yeah, I do think it could work. Number 3, would you ever attend a tournament like LVO or Adepticon? Yes, definitely. I would like to go to Adepticon one day. And if so, what army would you take? Good question. Probably take Tyranids, because I like Tyranids. Monsters. Monsters in space. What's not to like? Oh, another question from Capitan Morgan's Wargames says, I have an excellent question and one that will have you thinking. No, I've prepared for this one. Says, what is your favourite miniature of all time and what game system does it come from? Do you have it and how long have you had it? Up until fairly recent, well, I've got 2 and I'm going to show you them both. So, but from about 2 years ago, it was this guy, the Brood Lord. This is the Brood Lord from Space Hulk, and I converted him up a bit to work in 40k. I didn't like that kind of pyramid of skulls he was on, whatever. I did some rocks out of green stuff and various other things. Put some gunk on him there. A lot of airbrush work on that one. So he is my favourite model. And I use him in 40k, not Space Hulk. I've got another one for Space Hulk actually. And then obviously I had my birthday recently, end of March, and this guy now, he's about halfway done. So Magnus the Red, I do enjoy this as a model, loving him. I know a lot of people don't like these chest horns on his chest plate, but I actually like them. I think it suits him as a demon. He's a demon Primarch, and he got into some bad stuff. So yeah, he would be a bit weird. I know people don't like it, but you don't have to model him with that. You don't even have to have the chest plate on him if you don't want to. That's a 6-piece chest plate, so you don't have to have it on there. I just think it looks awesome. I think it looks fantastic. I think it does anyway. So those are my 2 favourite models. Obviously they're from 40k. Like I say, I've had Magnus since the end of March, and I've had this guy for about 2 years. Great question. Thank you. Right. The Nerd Life is next. Hey Richard, how's it going? It says, hey there my super glorious friend. I hope all is fantastic with you. Yes, it is. All the more for hearing from you. Great stuff. I was curious, if you were to visit the States again, if the opportunity arose, what sport, if any, would you like to watch? Even a specific team you've been interested in or a fan of? I don't have a specific team of anything, but I would like 2 sports I would like to watch in America would be American football, because that looks really good, and I love the way it's done in America. I mean, I've seen it here in the UK, but it doesn't have the grandiose atmosphere that it does in the States. And I'd like to see baseball, because I don't know, a lot of people in America like baseball games, and I'd like to see what the fuss is all about. But I don't have any specific teams as such. Although, when we went to excuse me, when we went to Florida, I was burning and I had no headwear with me, so I went into a shop and I bought a cap, and I didn't realise it was like an American football team or something. I forget what team it was now. But we went into a bar, and it was my daughter's birthday as well, and we were ordering on me, and they said, hey, you're a fan and all this kind of stuff. I was like, yeah. And then it was on all the TV screens. I was like, right, okay. But yeah, so that was kind of funny. Yeah, definitely. But I don't have a specific team, but I would definitely like to watch American football in America and baseball. Great question, Richard. Thank you very much. Hope you are well, sir. Right. Last question then comes from Black Country Wargaming, who says, what's your thoughts on the scale creep of models? The group I play with are dead against it, as they prefer true scale 25 to 28mm models because they are easier for storage, and believe GW are pushing the scale just to charge more. I don't think they're pushing the scale just to charge more. I think they will charge more anyway over time. as someone who loves ogres, I don't mind big models so long as they appear larger thematically to everything else. But I do think the latest flying sea guy for AOS is a bit excessive. I haven't seen him, but your comment there piques my interest. I'm going to have to check that out. But I haven't seen him, but I think you're right, or I think your group's right about the 25 to 28mm scale side of things. It's definitely easier to store and transport. I mean, I look at some of these games I see at tournaments like Adepticon and so on YouTube, and I think, how did they get all those models there? What did they transport them in? Like, a whole luggage set, How did they do it? If I had a hat, it would be off to these people, definitely. But yeah, I mean, a lot of the historical guys, they're like 25, 28mm, sometimes 15mm, and it's just so easy to transport. You can get so much more in your small space, easy, a lot easier. But then GW have always been weird shaped models, I think, and stuff like you've had to cut your foam out to specifically fit things, and that's why they had those is it the egg shell casing ones for a time? I wasn't keen on those, but yeah. But I don't think they're doing it just to put the prices up, because as I say, I think they'll do that anyway, regardless of size, I think. So I don't think the plastic itself is that expensive, really. It's just people will pay the money, myself included, so they will charge it. I think terrain is one they could learn a bit from. They could do it doing a bit cheaper terrain. There again, that's something you don't usually have to transport, is it? Terrain, because people have their own terrain that's home based, or wherever you're going usually provides the terrain, so you haven't got to worry about that so much. But I'm trying to get a bit more terrain here in my studio for games. I'm fed up of seeing the same terrain over and over. That's I thought, do you know what? I'll get my MDF stuff. I'll start painting that up, and there's a bit of way to go on it yet. But I was just using paints that I don't use, and I needed to use them up. But yeah, I mean, that's quite a big. That's an MDF building. If you compare that with, say, a GW one, that's like bigger again. Although it fits in with the 40k stuff. People don't look at the terrain as much, I don't think, though. But I mean, really, the buildings technically they're too small, because you'd never get that many guys in. I mean, what sort of castle, for instance, could you? I mean, a castle would fit hundreds and hundreds of soldiers, but you'd never get that many. Sorry, that's my phone. But you'd never get that many models in the size castles that you can buy. So, for realism, yeah, it works for skirmish. For skirmish, I love it. I love bigger models in skirmish. I think like 32, 35, even 40mm skirmish stuff is brilliant. I love it. I mean, I love War Machine and Hordes. It's a 32mm, I think it is, scale, so it's slightly bigger again. I like the bigger scales, but scale creep is a bit of an annoyance, because you get so much of your army and then it changes. So yeah, I totally get that. But yeah, it doesn't really bother me though, because I've got pretty much all the models I need to play the games I want. Just now and again, I like to have extra models to paint and build, or start a new army, in which case the scale should hopefully all be the same. Anyway, thanks for your questions. Please keep them coming in, because this is a really, really enjoyable episode of P&Q to do. I mean, all these questions are just fantastic. And this is on paper here because I'm decorating them, and I found a load of reams of coloured paper, so I'm going to use them up for P&Qs, because it's ideal. Right, like I say, keep those questions coming in, the 4 ways down below, or email me at the link below, or make a video asking a question. If I see it, I'll answer it here. Or you never know, we may meet in person. Then you can ask me a question then. Of course, I'll ask you questions. And we'll talk, and I'll put that on here as well. It doesn't happen very often, but it does happen. So keep them coming in, please. Till the next time, remember all brushes lead to war. I'll see you on the next video. Bye for now.